Welcome back to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Convo, episode number 53. And one of the biggest fights in the sports history of boxing going to actually take place this year between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. Let's get into a few short clips on what both guys had to say on the matter, and also what a promoter had to say as well. Is it in theory, or could it actually happen?
You get his fans, and then you get my fans, and then everybody going against each other. Well, in reality, we should be on the same team. We're trying to make the fight.
It's been a big comeback. This is my second comeback. And they thought I'd be done, but April 16th, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to get that WBA belt so I can be the IBF WBC champion of the world, and then we're going to go get the other one too.
Listen, for whatever reason, the fight's not happening. It's not happening. But I do believe the fight. He wants to fight, and I've been wanting to fight. But I think the politics behind, closed doors is the reason why the fight never happened.
Everybody would want to see is Spence versus Crawford. Mm-hmm. That's the fight people want to see. So what are we going to need to do and when I say we, I mean us as a sport. Whether if it's you guys as the media or us as promoters or managers or fighters, we all need to push that we get these fights done, because that's the only way we can bring the kind of excitement level we had, particularly here in the United States 5, 6, 10 years ago, when we had all these great fights happening. That's what we need to do again. And so we need to make sure in the welterweight division that we finally get the fight everybody see. But there are other great fights, like Eimantas Stanionis, the winner of Eimantas Stanionis and Putaev is going to be in line to fight the winner of Spence and UGAS. The WBA was very clear about that. There's no if, no but, no this, no that.
So you guys heard what Terence Crawford had to say, you heard what Errol Spence had to say, and also Richard Schaefer. If you don't know who he is a boxing promoter. So I'm going to break this video down in 3 different sections. I'm going to break it down in theory, I'm going to break it down in reality, and I'm also going to break down on what all 3 guys had to say. So even though I had that in reverse, let's get into what all 3 guys had to say. And I'm more or less going to get into what Terence Crawford and Errol Spence had to say in those short clips, and I'm also going to break down what Richard Schaefer had to say more on the end, and you guys will understand why I did it like that. So let's go ahead and get into what the guys had to say, and Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. I think I'm going to break it down like this. I think the 2 guys want to fight. I know the fans are going crazy. I know the fans are accusing one another of ducking. I don't think that's the case. I haven't thought that was the case in many years. I think both guys really, really want to fight. I think that they talk a lot. I think that they respect each other, and they know what it's going to take to actually become a Hall of Famer. I think they know what it's going to take to have each other on each other's resume. So a lot of times, if you're training, if you're a boxer, you're training to be the best. You want to prove that you're the best. You're going to fight the best. These 2 guys know how important that this fight is, despite what the fans may think. I think that Terence Crawford did a great job at explaining they want to fight. The politics of boxing is what's really stopping the fight and holding back, giving the fans what they really want to see. And I think that Errol Spence was very simple in his demeanor and when he told the fans, like, I want to collect all 4 belts. I like doing my videos like this because you get to hear it, not out of my mouth, not something that I'm making up. I'm not just jumping to a conclusion. I'm just giving my thoughts on it. I'm giving my breakdown on all my videos. So you guys, but I'm doing it from more of an educational standpoint, and also to get you guys to actually think outside the box. So I think, like I said, I think Terence Crawford, he was letting the world, both sides, whether you're a fan of Terence Crawford or you're a fan of Errol Spence, he let you know, we want to fight. The fans, everybody going crazy, they kind of blaming each other. He said we need to come together. We need to come together. That way, if the fans push for the fight, a lot of people don't think that fans have, a lot of say-so in the sport of boxing. But if we don't watch certain fights, if we don't provide certain tickets, we don't do certain things, then we are the ones that's in more control. We have more control than you think we do. We set the standards. If they can put on a promotion all they want to, if we don't buy it, we don't want to buy it. We're like clothes and stuff. If somebody come out with a pair clothing line or whatever, we don't have to buy that. So you as a fan, you do have a lot of control. It's kind of like buying into stocks. I'm not going to get so far into that, but it's like buying into stocks. You do have a percentage percentage of a company. So if you buy into something, you contribute to the growth of something. You may not get any kickback, or you could if you go to Vegas and you decide to bet or whatever, or go to the fight. You may, whatever, you may get an autograph that's worth thousands of dollars one day. So whatever. But let's go ahead and get into the theory of this fight actually taking place this year. I'm just going to be honest. Just going to get right into it. So in theory, I think once Errol Spence, on paper, he should be able to get past Yorlendis Ugas. He gets past Yorlendis Ugas. Who else what other fight could he take that actually makes sense? I don't think it's Jerome Boots Ennis, as much as I like him. I don't think it's Keith Thurman. I don't think it's the two guys Richard Schaefer mentioned. I'm not going to say their names because it's just dumb to me. I don't think neither one of those fights make sense for Errol Spence if he can get past Yorlendis Ugas. Even if Yorlendis Ugas was to win, I do not think that fight would be. It wouldn't be great. With Richard Schaefer, what he said, it would not look good. It does not make any sense. If one of those two guys can get the majority of the belts, I think on either side it makes more sense to fight Terence Crawford. It makes more sense to put on the biggest fights. Why wouldn't you put on the biggest fight? But in theory, can this fight actually take place this year? I think yes. I think in theory it could take place for a lot of different reasons. I think that both guys seem like they want to fight. I don't think negotiations will be as bad and harsh as everybody may think it will be. If you're a true fan of the sport, if you understand business, you can see why. I think that Errol Spence, to give him credit, I think he knows how important that the fight is to him, and he'll understand that for him to get the belt, he's going to have to give a little bit to get a little bit. He's going to have to give to receive a little bit. And he knows, like I said, I think that both guys respect each other. But on Terence Crawford, in his defense, I think he'll know that Errol Spence has the majority of the belt, and he'll understand that he has to probably take a back seat. I think it'd be more of a 60-40 split. I don't think it'd be anything that's like an 80-20. I don't think it'll be a 70-30. None of that. I think it'll be a fair split. I think a 60-40 split is fair. I think it's absolutely fair for if you want to go by who has the majority of the belts. And in theory, if Errol Spence wins, he'll have the majority of the belts. So in theory, there's only one fight to make, and that's the fight for Errol Spence and Terence Crawford to finally take place. That's in theory. Everybody gets what they want. The fight takes place probably late this year or early next year. But let's go ahead and get into the reality of it. So let's get into what more Richard Schaefer had to say. I think Richard Schaefer made a couple different statements that stood out to me in that short clip that I got for you guys. So in the short clip, he said that he want to be the reason why some of these fights get made. He want to put on the biggest fights. And he turned around and said what the WBA, he also stated what they had in store. So he said Jonas and somebody else, like I said, I'm not going to get into their names. I could care less because I just, as a fan, it blows my mind. So I think it's Danny Jonas and somebody else. But, the reality of it, those fights make no sense, and that's the reason why I do not think that this fight will happen this year, next year, or the year after that. I think that the WBO, they have their agendas, and a lot of people don't realize that the promoters are very close to the sanctioning bodies, and they got a lot of pull. They bring a lot of money, and that's how the sanctioning bodies they get paid because if there's no promoters, there's no sanctioning bodies, most likely. Even though they charge a sanctioning fee if you win a belt or something like that, it's still nearly not enough money to stay alive as a business. Having a belt that you create and in a factory or whatever, putting diamonds and stuff like that don't pay the bills. But he also made he made a statement on the WBA, and that really, really rung a bell with me. It's like this fight would never take place. It would never take place because it does not make any sense. I don't get it why they would not want an undisputed champion at welterweight division. I don't get it, but you guys can take it for what you want to take it to or take it for. But you guys let me know what you think about this topic down in the comments below. that's going to conclude another episode of Big Bear Boxing Convo, episode number 53. You guys let me know what you think about this topic and all the other topics that I'll bring up on my channel. If you want to see what I'm wearing, shopsite.com. Follow me on all social media platforms that I'm currently on. Links will be down in the descriptions below. Just want to thank you guys like I do each and every single video. Without you guys, this channel would not be doing what it's doing today, so thank you guys. If you're old to my channel, new to the channel, please try to make sure you watch the full video so you get the full breakdown of the content. Also, if you like the video, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And also hit that notification bell so you will not miss out on any videos on this channel. With all that out of the way, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Convo.